Jarrell Sanders was born in New Orleans, then raised on the old side of the Magnolia Projects. He was nephew to the Central City legend known as Steppa, aka Vamp, and by the age of 10, he was already displaying traits of such gangster bloodline. By his early teens, he was off the porch, and the word was out, don't fuck with Lil One, he bout that iron. By the time he was 16 years old, he had established himself as a head busser who believed that shooting first was the only way, which put fear in those around him, making his presence very uncomfortable.
If Jarnell got a problem with you and you ain't doing what he's telling you to do, what options you have? If he already known for putting in work.
Say, bro, what actually happened to Jarnell?
He was burned up in a truck with his girlfriend, chopped up, dismembered, and I wouldn't say he really had beef from my understanding, like he basically got killed over.
The guy named Vamp, I got love for him, you know what I'm saying? That was our partner. His real name, rather, they called him Steppa. He in the feds right now. Steppa
and Jarnell Sanders, you feel me? Jarnell got a lot of OGs in his family. It's just not Steppa, you feel me?
Vamp come from out of nowhere with 2 guns. You know what I'm saying? He charged and dumping that both up.
Like he put in a lot of work before the youngins, and even when the DBs hit they top tier moment, he was actually out there on the strip.
Vamp had old funny like squeaky voice.
It's like this, the Harlem Street, Volume 2, BG.
OG Steppa, aka Vamp, is a Central City legend whose name been ringing in the streets since the mid-1980s and was one out of very few who could establish himself within more than one housing project.
Who project is Steppa from?
Oh, Steppa from the Magnolia.
The Vamp, you speaking from the Melford or Cali?
He's really from Mount the Melford Project.
You know, we all have some type of connection to the Melford, to the Cali, or we all have family members.
The NO was a small city with a small inner circle of those who really run the streets, and Steppa was in that circle. He was heavily associated with Cash Money Records since his startup and stayed active during 3 different eras, and before his last arrest, he had become an advisor and an influence to many New Orleans local rappers.
OG Steppa is really like a real OG, and he like motivate. Like he ain't the type of OG that send you on a crash dummy mission, you feel me? He like one of those people that think things through, you feel me, and look at shit down the road.
We had a chance to get it with a nigga, game on shell, you know what I'm saying? Now we gonna show you that we could get it without a nigga, right?
He like the last generation, and he was willing to let you know, fuck with the music shit. You go all the way in with that. Don't be out here on the strip with us, and you know you got another chance or a chance to do something different.
Check it out, yeah. And we ain't playing no games too. Y'all better get out of our face. Look at
In 2010, Steppa, along with 4 accomplices, were arrested for their role in a drug dealing operation that brung in keys of white from Houston to New Orleans from 2005 to 2009. Ignoring his prior arrest and felony convictions, Steppa took his chances with going to trial trying to fight it, and where his partners in crime received no more than 10 years for pleading guilty, Steppa received an L for trying to beat it. He was labeled a non-violent 3-time loser, but was still sentenced to life.
Do you notice a difference between a person who's labeled a killer versus an average person?
Yeah, of course you know that, you feel me? A person who consider like a killer, they more, what I could say, laid back. They have a sense of calm with them. And from some of the people that I know who put in work, it's always like black and white with them. It's never like in between. They zero tolerance with bullshit. So don't bring bullshit to them and you won't see that side of them, you feel me? From every person that I dealt with who I know them put some work in, you feel me?
Being a product of your environment makes it easy to adapt to the lifestyle. And when it's in your blood, it's almost impossible to escape. But for Jarnell, he never ran from it. He grew up on the old side of the Magnolia, but was pushed off the porch at an early age and was known as a young gunner throughout all the projects before he could even drive.
Jarnell, like one of the only people I ever know that was about to fight with somebody from our neighborhood, and he actually had a gun on him, but he took the gun and gave it to somebody else, and he was like, man, you from my hood, that's the only reason I ain't gonna clap you up. And that just stuck with me, you feel me?
He would do something like that, he would have clapped you up.
Oh yeah, Jarnell been about his business. Like at the end of the day, he been about him being from the TC, you feel me? That's considered the old side. And ain't too many people like you, when you think of head busting, everybody always refer to the new side of Willow Street or 6 and Clarence for head busters. But Jarnell was like On his side of town, the TC, the old side, considered the old side, he was about his business and he was gonna stand on that. He was gonna hold the old side down.
Being respected and being feared both goes a long way, only in opposite directions. And where respect can possibly bring you love, being feared can possibly kill you.
Say, bro, what actually happened to Jarnell?
He was burned up in a truck with his girlfriend, chopped up, dismembered.
Going on a date with her boyfriend, Jarnell Sanders, that night. Their bodies were discovered inside of a burned SUV in New Orleans East.
He had beef?
I wouldn't say he really had beef from my understanding. Like, he basically got killed over some, what they call a number job shit.
Sanders had a conflict with someone about a vehicle, a failed deal as a possible motive.
You know, like, that's where the respect come in line and being feared too, you feel me? Like, you gotta think, like, if Jarnell got a problem with you and you ain't doing what he's telling you to do, what options you have? If he already known for putting in work or doing something, you feel me? And if that person ain't no relative to you or got no attachments to you, what they gonna think? If you go anywhere in my hood and a killer looking for you, what are you looking for me for, you feel me? And what you doing, you preparing yourself for whatever option we gonna go. So that's what happened with him.